Real quick, before we start, let me ask you guys a question, right? Have you ever stayed in a relationship that you were supposed to be long gone, but you stayed? Not because you were happy, but because leaving felt harder than staying. You stayed, not because they treated you well, but because the idea of losing them felt unbearable. Well, here's the uncomfortable truth that a lot of people are not willing to hear. Most people don't stay in the wrong relationship because of love, they stay because of psychology. Your brain is very powerful, it's the most powerful organ in your body. And when it wants to protect you from pain, it will lie to you. It'll tell you everything is okay. In this new episode of Unfiltered Exposure, we are unpacking the psychological tricks, some conscious, some subconscious, that keep intelligent, self-aware people trapped in relationship that slowly drains them. And if this episode feels personal, that's not an accident. But before I start, I want to put this out there real quick as a disclaimer. I'm not claiming expertise as a psychological expert or a dating coach. Everything I'm about to say is simply facts, shaped by lived experience and observation. So let's get unfiltered. So let's start with the most dangerous one, a psychological term called intermittent reinforcement. This is the same psychological mechanism used in casinos. You don't win every time, you win sometimes. And that sometimes is enough to keep you pulling the lever. In relationships, it looks like this. They're warm, then cold, loving, then distant, present, then gone. Your brain doesn't bond with consistency. It bonds to uncertainty paired with reward. Psychologists like B.F. Skinner demonstrated that unpredictable rewards create stronger behavioral addiction than consistent ones. So when they suddenly text you back after disappearing, when they show up emotionally just enough, your nervous system says, don't leave. The reward might be coming, and you call it hope. But here's where it gets deeper. Trauma bonding happens when emotional pain and emotional relief comes from the same person. They hurt you, they disappear, they withdraw, and then they comfort you. And what does your body do? It releases cortisol during conflict, like the stress hormones. Then dopamine and oxytocin when things feel good again. That chemical whiplash creates attachment. Psychologists like Patrick Carnes describe trauma bonding as emotional addiction, not love. And that's why calm feels boring, stability feels unfamiliar, and chaos feels intimate. And you're not addicted to them, you're addicted to the emotional cycle. You see where I'm going with this? Now let's talk about something sneaky. Cognitive dissonance. I spoke about this in one of my previous podcasts. That uncomfortable tension when your reality doesn't match your beliefs. Like, you believe I'm smart, I have standards, I wouldn't stay somewhere unhealthy. But the reality is, you're staying. So the brain does what it does best, it rationalizes. You tell yourself, they just stress, no relationship is perfect, they had a rough past. But Leon Festinger showed that humans will change their beliefs before they change their behavior. And it's not because you're weak, but because your brain hates contradiction. So instead of leaving, you like rewriting the story. And this one keeps people stuck for years. The sunk cost fallacy. I've already put so much time into this. We've been through so much together. I can't just walk away now. But time invested is not proof of future value. Economists say sunk costs should never influence future decisions. But emotionally, we ignore that. You're not staying because it's good. You're staying because leaving will mean admitting this cost me something. And the ego hates loss. So you keep paying. But here's the part nobody wants to hear. Sometimes the relationship feels right because it matches an old wound. If love once felt unpredictable, your body associates unpredictability with connection. John Bowlby's attachment theory explains this clearly. We don't seek what's healthy, we seek what's familiar. And that's why emotionally unavailable people often attract anxious partners. That's why secure love can feel off at first. Your nervous system isn't asking, is this good for me? No, it's asking, does this feel like home? Even if home was chaos. And here's the final trap. Your brain prefers predictable pain over unfamiliar peace. You know how they disappoint you. You know how the arguments go. You know how the cycle ends. Leaving means uncertainty. And uncertainty triggers fear. So the brain whispers, at least this is known. But comfort is not safety, and familiarity is not love. So let me leave you with this. If a relationship requires you to silence your intuition, shrink your needs, justify emotional neglect, that's not love. That's survival. And survival isn't meant to be permanent. Healing begins when you stop asking, why can't I let them go? And start asking, what part of me learned to stay? If this episode hits home, sit with that. Awareness is the first act of freedom. And this was Unfiltered Exposure Podcast, a space where we drop the filters, we speak raw truth, and we tell stories that deserve to be seen and heard. Until then, stay real, stay curious, and stay unfiltered.
Thank you.